All right, guys, come on in and have a seat, and we'll get started.
Hey, Chad, there's 29 people in Athens right now. That's a lot.
That's not bad. 29, I mean, that's not good. Especially without any, because have y'all pushed any Facebook over there, really?
No, that's over.
Yeah.
So it was running out by the time we decided to do it. We don't have any.
How much more money?
Make a new
Or,
ad just for
I
that.
don't know if you'd want to.
Well, I mean, he submitted it to the board.
To do it again? Lance is supposed to submit it to the board? Oh, yeah, no, he did that last week. Yeah.
But I thought he got approval on the front side. But nobody remembers how much.
Yeah.
'Cause we had it set before. He was,
All right, guys. Come on in and we'll get started. Mike is here. Yeah, Mike Jones. So, Mike, you want to just remind everybody in case somebody hasn't paid you, or do you know of anybody? We'll point them out whenever you get up. No, I'm messing with you. So, come on up.
All right, guys, it's getting close. There's a few of you who still haven't paid chapter dues. I don't necessarily know about the Tasso State dues, but there is a list of those as well if you don't know. Again, you can give me money, $35. You can write a check to the Tyler chapter, $35. You can go on the tylerrefs.org website, click the PayPal button, pay your $35. Any of those ways, and I get it. Obviously, this week is the last week of scrimmages, so we really need that money before the regular season hits and make you a member in good standing. Have any questions about that? Please come and ask me. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mike. All right. Jeremy, you want to get up and kind of give your homework that you've been doing?
Yeah. So most of you probably saw the email. We had 76 whenever I sent that out, maybe Thursday or Friday. Members ready for assignments. We're up to 86. So that's better. I guess right over 50%. So make sure you get in there, take your tests, pay your dues, watch your clinic, all the above. If you're unsure if you have completed a certain item or believe you have and it's not showing it, please reach out so we can work on that now and not wait till Thursday night before the Friday games. I'm going to hold off on releasing assignments until that's all complete. So crew chiefs, we have 4 crew chiefs that are not ready. So that's a good place to start. And I don't know, about 20 crew members not ready. So crew chiefs, get yourself ready, and then make sure your crew's ready. And then we'll move down the line for there. Those that are not on a crew, what I'm telling you is with that many not ready on a crew, be ready to work on Friday night. So get yourself ready and be in position to work. So that's all I got. Okay. Mr. Hastings here says that the clinic will not work on Safari on your mobile device. So Google Chrome will get it done. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, it's very important for us to be in compliance with Tasso, so get on your guys and get that done. Talk to the rest of your guys. I've got a couple that I just found out on my crew that I got to stay on, so talk with the rest of your guys and get that taken care of. Stephen, do you have? Sorry. You know me back there?
I was being prepared. Sub-varsity assignments for the first week of the season, which is next week, will go out either tonight or early in the morning. You may see a light blue assignment on your Arbiter calendar right now if you have a pending assignment. You should. My goal this first week is to make sure all the new guys that are ready have a game. So if you're a returning guy, you may not get a game the first week. The schedule builds the first 3 weeks. There's less games the first week. Week 2, some of the junior highs begin playing. By week 3, everybody's playing. So if you don't get a game the first couple of weeks and you're a veteran, just rest those knees. But if you're a new guy, look for a game. If you have not logged into Arbiter yet, I know Jeremy's got a list in his hand. We have about 5 or 6 people that are in Arbiter that have never logged in. So if you're one of those people, or you're wondering what in the world is Arbiter, before you leave tonight, please talk to Jeremy or myself, and we'll make sure you can use Arbiter, because that's the way we communicate with you through the chapter via email, and that's also how you get all of your assignments. So using Arbiter is kind of a non-negotiable if you want to be a football official in Tyler. But so if you have a question about your assignments, once they go out, I'll send an email out to the chapter when I release them. Just let me know. It's my first week doing it, so I'm sure it won't be as good as Jeremy, but as the years go on, we'll try to make it better. So do you got any questions for me before I hand it off? All right.
All right, thanks. And so just so, like he said earlier, we started up the remote meeting in Athens this week, and so we've got some guys over there. We got almost 30, so that's a good sign. And so that's good to help those guys out over there. And so here we go. So Lance asked me to lead the breakout and for the short line of scrimmage guys. And so I'm going to go over just a PowerPoint that I put together a few years ago and tweaked it a little bit. And feel free to, if you have any questions or comments, or if you see something that looks wrong, let me know and we'll figure it out. But these are all things that either somebody's told me that I've paid a lot of money for somebody to tell me, and I'm bringing it back to you guys, or it's something that I was just, had lucky enough to have a mentor that told me. So that's what these bullet points are. So here we go. The pregame starts as soon as after the first week. Is preparing yourself for the next week is on the film review. That starts on Monday. As soon as we get the film in, I start breaking down my film. Our crew's film, I break everything down. So that way I know that I'm on top of what I need to do to be better. And so with that, I review the previous games. I check my spots as a line of scrimmage guy. That's what we do the whole game is get spots. So I check my spots on the film. And some film you can't tell, but a lot of times you can. And so I check my spots the whole season. Mechanics, was I mechanically in the right spot for the different situations that I was presented with for that game? And then did I officiate that play philosophy-wise the correct way? Should I have called a holding, or should I not have called a holding by philosophy, just so I'm consistent? Because what the coaches want more than anything is consistency, right? And so I try to learn by watching film on, is my philosophies consistent from week to week, from play to play, from situation to situation? I work with my wing partner, through the week. I'll text him or call him a few times, especially early on. We've already talked a few times during the off season, just, hey, don't forget we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And so work with your wing partner. Don't let the next time you talk to your wing partner be the Friday right before the game. Get with him through the week and say, hey, look at this play and see what you think. Did we mess that one up, or did I miss a spot on this one, or whatever? Did we miss a penalty enforcement? Was we supposed to go to previous spot and we went to the spot of the foul? The spots, cross-field mechanics. Was I not able to help you in a certain situation, or why did you not look at me whenever you were pushed back off of that ball that was passed to your side? You just went up and you didn't look at me. Hey, I'm here for you. Get my spot. I'll help you out. And so just going over things like that through the week. If you're lucky enough to get on a crew with 7, do the same thing with your deep wing guy. Was there a situation that you could have had some help there that you didn't, or was there some ball mechanics that we messed up on? All of those situations that you can think of through the week. Work with your deep flank guy also. Did we get all the catches that were close to the out of bounds? Did we communicate that correctly? Did I have his feet, or did we both have his feet and nobody had the ball? Just talk with each other, figure out, make sure that y'all are on the same page with those. Did I run over my deep flank on a 5-man, or on a 7-man and give him, push him off the goal line whenever it was his goal line? And did I work the pylon plays correctly? So all this is the pregame stuff that you learn by watching film. Whenever I get to the stadium, I always talk with the chain crews, especially as a head linesman. You should know your chain crews' names. It's easy. Write it down on your notepad. And so it's easier to call them by name and say, hey man, come on. Check the chains. I've gone out to some fields that the chains have never been checked because they're off a half a yard or something crazy. And so check them every time. Meet the ball boys. You want to make your game go easy? Meet your ball boys early. Get that communication over with. Tell them what you expect from them, where you want them to be. All of this makes the game go much easier. Never let the ball boys get inside the 10. That's just something that you always know that they're at the 10, because if you don't, they'll be right there at the goal line with you when you're trying to get in a position and they're right behind you, pushing you out of the way. Whenever we're out there at the pregame, I'll watch the formations of the offense. Are the tackles kind of were they like wishing bone out, I'll know that during the pregame, and I can kind of adjust and fix some of that during the pregame so I don't even have to mess with it during the game. I'll let the coaches know, hey, you need to make sure that those tackles get up. Right? Am I going too fast? Everything good? Any questions so far? All right. Have a good pre-snap. Everybody's is a little bit different. It's something that you work on as a line of scrimmage guy. So have a good pre-snap checklist. Is the clock running or not? Is it under a minute? These are important things to always check every snap, especially when you get down inside of a minute because of the 10-second runoff rules and stuff like that. Down in line to gain. Are the box and chains correct? All of these things are things that we can correct, right? And so know all of those. As a line of scrimmage guy, that's what you get paid to do every time. I know what line I'm on. I know what the line to gain is every snap. Yeah, there are some snaps that I'm like, have a brain, missing and I forgot. But try to, every game, try to know that on every down. If your team is on offense, make sure that you let your referee know that there was a substitution so we can do the substitution mechanics. I've seen a lot of film where they don't do that from last year and the year before. If your team subs, you got to give the defense a time to react, right? So make sure you do that. On a 5-man, line judge, count your defense. Give your back judge, you've got 10 or 11, right? Not 10. Know your pre-snap keys. As a line of scrimmage guy, your pre-snap key is everybody on the line from the center to your side, right? That's everybody's yours on your side. And the guys on the other side of the snapper is the other wing guys. Pre-snap keys. At the snap, focus. Pre-snap movement, be aware of it. Anything on the line, make sure you know. If they've moved early, kill it. Is it a legal formation? We have to know every down. Do we have a legal formation, which is no more than 4 in the backfield, right? Have a legal smooth snap. Your umpire is going to help on that, but sometimes he's straight line with it and he may not see a double clutch or something, right? So we've got to help with that. Move to this post-snap key. So after the snap, we're going to move to our key, which in 5-man is the guy closest to us. The wing, the wideout that's closest to us, that's our key. We watch them until they're free or until there's no action on them. 7-man is the second or third guy or back or whoever, whatever the formation is. And all of the keys are in the books, in your mechanics book. Get in there, learn who your keys are, so you don't have 3 people looking at the same slot guy. You're doing pretty good at this from the film I've watched. You're lining up with both feet in the white, straddling the scrimmage line, get a legal formation, work with your wide receivers, talk to them. If they ask you, here's the line, I don't tell them on or off. I give them where the line is and let them adjust. I always try to warn the offensive tackle. Unless he's just way back there, I try to give the offensive tackle a warning. Hey, I'll relay it into my umpire or referee or whoever, say, hey, get the left offensive tackle up on the line. If it's my coach over here that is on offense, I say, hey, coach, you need to get your offensive tackle on the line. And so I give them that first chance to correct it, unless it's too far egregious that we can't let them correct it. Then we'll get them. At the snap, read the play. We need to know if it's a run play, you know you're not going to have to mess with your keys running deep. You're going to start watching the immediate blocking. Make sure you hold the line of scrimmage until the ball passes in front of you. I was at a couple of scrimmages, and the guys on the sideline, they like jumping around. Just be calm and let that play get in front of you, and then you follow the play. That's so you can see the best, and you're in the safest position at that spot also. If it's a pass play, mechanically, L holds the line of scrimmage, and H can drift down 3 to 5 yards. You can drift down. You don't have to. I like staying still, because then I always know where my 3 yards is for ineligibles downfield. I know where my 5-yard blocking zone is if I don't drift. It's easier for me to just stay still. But you can, if you feel like you want to get down there a little bit, as a H, you can drift down 3 to 5 mechanically. If the line to gain is less than 5, L and H will go to the line to gain at the snap. You treat it almost like a goal line play. If it's 3rd down or 4th down, that's the only time when you do this. If it's 2nd down, you don't do this. If it's on 3rd or 4th down, at the snap with less than 5, you go to the line to gain and treat it as a hard line. The coaches will see you starting to do that, and they will never question you if there's a 1st down or not. It just makes it so much easier because the coaches know, hey, you were right there on the line waiting for it. So it helps out. At the end of the play, if you have the ball down, blow a normal whistle. If you're the covering official and you've got the ball down, blow the whistle and give a dead ball or kill the clock or whatever the appropriate signal is. And if the ball is on the other side of the field, we don't mirror that signal. The only signal that we'll mirror is a killing the clock. Because if we're mirroring all of the signals that's on the other side, he may come up with a dead ball and the ball is squirted out. So then both of you have an inadvertent signal. So let him take care of it over there. You take care of it on your side. Any questions to that? When you read run, check the blocks in the area that's at the point of attack for holding or any other infractions that they could do. But that's where you want to adjust your eyes to, is get those guys right there immediately in front of the ball. Follow the runner after he crosses your face again. You see a lot of guys going in front of that, and then you get up in there in no man's land and you start dodging people because you're where they're trying to get to. Again, cross-field mechanics with your wing partner. If he gets pushed off of a spot, be up there and be ready to help him. One thing that we do is that if you've got a run play or any kind of play and it takes you out, well, I'll go over this in a minute. Well, I'll go in. If it takes you out, I'll tell my other guy across the field, pause for a second and I'll get to your spot if you need to go and get somebody, retrieve them out of the other team area. So just those are kind of little things that makes you look like you know what you're doing across the field whenever you really don't remember, but your guy across the field helped you out. Again, don't signal unless you see the ball carrier down with the ball in their control. Signal the status of the ball when it reaches the end of the run. So if you need to kill the clock because they made a first down, kill the clock. Or if it's just a simple dead ball signal to start the 40-second clock, signal that if you're covering the ball. Passing plays. Know your keys. During the game, there may be a funny formation that there may do some funny routes. After they do the first one, talk with your back judge. Say, hey, did we switch on? Do we need to switch on that? Because my guy went deep and your guy stayed up. So discuss during the game. You can discuss and kind of take care of those during the game. Again, H can move 3 to 5 yards down the field. L is primary for the mechanics manual on forward and backwards passes. So you need to make a determination anytime that it's close, whether it's forward or it's backwards as a line judge. L has illegal forward passes beyond the line of scrimmage. And L has the sack spot if it's a loss. Your primary is the L. As a L is to have that spot. Now, yeah, as a H, you can help them out if it's on your side or if you're in a good view and you get that to help him out, that's fine. But it's L's primary spot. Passing play, see the ball and rule on the pass. Remember, you must control the ball to the ground. Bang, bang plays, not DPI, which we've gone over that with deep flank stuff and whenever Buddy went over DPI stuff. The bang bangs, we're not going to call DPI on that. Not a cheap catch, so it makes it into a cheap fumble. If he hasn't controlled it, just give it an incomplete and move on. This is the one that I think you learn later in your career, is a funny situation happens and then you threw with the ball play and the referee's looking at you like, hey, what happened? It looked funny from my side. It looked like he was throwing it away. Was there anybody out there? Did it make the line of scrimmage? Any of that kind of stuff. And so be ready to give your R information whenever there's a short pass or something crazy that happens, to give him what he needs so he can make a ruling on intentional grounding. Mechanically, on scrimmage and punt plays, we start at the back of the white because that's when all of the crazy stuff happens. So get in a habit on punt plays to move to the back of the white. The same thing, get a legal formation. That's when those guys are out there for that one play, and sometimes they don't get on the line. Help get everybody legal. At the snap, we're checking the blocks by the tackle and wing back. Make sure that they've got good, clean blocks. This one, it's by the mechanics book. The H holds the line. For some reason, it switches on punt plays. H holds the line to make sure that the ball crosses the line of scrimmage and contacts anything, while L, at the snap, after the punter receives the ball, he takes off down the field in 5-man mechanics. So this is a funny situation that's kind of backwards than everything else. So just be aware of that L takes off down the field on a punt play where the H is going to stay still. Any questions on any of that? After the punt, H will not go far down the field like what I just said. Then if the punt breaks to your side, let the action pass. Don't try to keep in front of it because that's where everybody's going to come out of bounds, and you see a lot of guys get hit right there. So stay back, let that play happen in front of you, and then work the play just like a regular run play or pass play or a regular scrimmage play. Just stay back and let that action get in front of you. That's the safest places for you to be behind it. Then in 7-man, remember that if it breaks, you've got it On a punt play, you've got from the 2 to the goal line. You're going to push mechanics if you're lucky enough to work on the 7-man side. So the side judge and field judge is going to get that spot, and then you're going to get from the 2-yard line to the goal line. You're going to get those spots. Be cognizant of blindside blocks. Watch for those. Punt plays, just like a while ago, be a good dead ball official, because sometimes special team guys they're headhunters, they're wanting to get the last hit, and so just keep your eyes open and make sure that all that stuff is cleaned up before you worry about getting the ball or doing any of that. So on punt plays and any kick plays or special team plays, just kind of hang back, watch everything, make sure everything clears good, and then you can get in there. On field goals and extra points, in 5-man, H has the line of scrimmage 100% all the way across. You've got false start. That's the only time you'll call a false start on the opposite tackle if you see it. So just remember that you're going to have that line of scrimmage all the way through on field goals and extra points in 5-man mechanics. L moves under his upright on his side. Think what's going to happen if there's a bad snap, what everybody's going to do. H is going to be aware and go to the goal line. L, if you can, you're going to try to get back towards the sideline and assist the R, because the R is always on your side on those, right? And so you're going to see if you can get back over there. If you can't, you can't. But if it's a play that takes a little bit to form, you could make it back there to help with that. R should be on the L side and wide. And then your U should be able to step up and help with the goal line. So on busted plays, everybody kind of know what everybody else is doing. That's in any situation, because I know what my deep flank's going to take care of. I know what my flank on the opposite side's going to be looking at. I know what my umpire's going to be looking at. So that helps me to know to make sure what I need to be looking at. And so just know those situations and talk to them in your pregame. Hey, if this happens, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? It would be a good pregame discussion. In the goal line, whenever the goal line is threatened and you're inside the 7, H and L will go to the goal line at the snap whenever you're inside the 7. In 7-man, just make sure that your deep flanks are at the back end line. Make sure that they're pushed back and you're not going to push up on them. So just know whenever you're at the 7, make sure those guys are where they're supposed to be. And it's not a whole lot. It's just glancing down and making sure, and you can talk to them. Say, hey, go back, or whatever. We're at the 7. Just tell them where you're at, and then they'll think, oh, yeah. We move to the goal line immediately at the snap. We crash spots whenever they're in. Any time that the goal line's threatened, we crash those spots. We run, if we don't know where the ball is, make sure you run in the field of play. Don't run in the end zone, because it looks bad whenever you get to there and then you step over to get a spot. Start here, and then you can always go up in the field of play. Like I said, a touchdown lasts forever. Take your time and be sure of your ruling. There's no reason to rush. Get in there wherever the ball's at. If you don't see it cross and there's a squirm, a big pile up there, get in there wherever it's at. That's what your ruling is. That's all you have to go off of if you didn't see it cross. Reverse goal line. If you're inside the 5, H and L should both go to the goal line. Reverse, you're coming out of the goal line, away from the goal line. At the snap, when you're inside the 5, both of you go back. From the 5 to 10, the L stays on the line of scrimmage, and the H reads the play. And if it looks like the goal line is threatened, the H will drift down to try to help with anything that may happen where the quarterback is sacked or whatever the situation may be. It's the H's job to get back there. Cross-field mechanics. This is more of the fine-tuning as you work with your crew that you'll get used to. it's not hard it's an art form. And whenever you watch college guys or NFL guys, watch those cross-field guys. They help the covering official a ton. They'll cover the play, and then they'll turn and look at their official across the way to help get a spot. And so trust those guys. Be the guy that your cross-field that's across from you can trust you. These are times when it's easy to use the cross-field mechanics. When the runner is driven back in your zone, when he catches the ball and he runs up and then he's driven back, 5-10 yards, and you're blowing it and you're watching that, and you may be walking up to the spot, that's a good time because the guy across can usually get a pretty good feel of where the line or where he got to, and to give him the forward progress. Because remember, we give him everything that he gets. On a long pass, same thing. The opposite guy should be there to help you with those spots, because you don't have anything going on your side if the long pass is to the other side. And this is in 5-man. What I said earlier, the L has the primary spot on sacks and loss of downs or loss of yardage. The H can help you out. Still the same thing. Help each other out that's across from you. On 7-man, long passes, this is where the guy cross diagonal from you is going to help you out, because he's got nothing happening over on his side. The deep flank on your side is either pushed because he's got action in it on him, or there's a play that he's having to rule on. So be ready to look across, and your other deep flank can help you out by getting the spot or staying the spot on the 0-2-0, because sometimes they've got the best spot for that if it's a 40-yard pass or something like that. Dead ball officiating. Move slow towards the spot while blowing your whistle. Watch the players until they separate, because you'll get players, we had them here at the scrimmage, got up pushing off of the other guy. Watch them until they get up and get separated. And then you can come in and mark your spot with your foot. Nowadays, the clock or the game is going so fast. Used to, they would want us to put a ball down and get a new ball in. Sometimes the games are going so fast now, we don't have that opportunity. Be ready to get that ball right back in. If you've got a good ball boy, then maybe you can work a new ball in, but don't bank on it. If the ball is dead, out of bounds in your area and you're the covering official, observe the out of bounds spot. Move towards that spot while killing the clock. Make sure you stay focused on the action out of bounds. In the scrimmages, the new guys, you want to go up and get the spot, and they've got two different teams behind you. Just watch everything on the backside of it, out of bounds, because you've got your umpire and referees going to help what's happening on the field behind you. And so just watch out of bounds and watch all of that action. Watch them until they get all the way back out into the field, especially if you have a guy running in opposite team area and then he's coming back behind them and coming back out. Watch him until he gets all the way back out onto the field. Don't think because he's back there by the water cooler that you can quit watching him, because there's nobody around him. Watch him all the way back out. Don't be in a hurry to get the ball. They can't start without you, right, with the ball. So make sure all of the action's done and then get a ball and finished. Because what happens that you see on film, a play will happen and they'll still be getting up, and we'll have guys getting a ball to try to get back in. Let all the action get up and get separated and then get a ball. Penalties that kill the clock. We blow our whistle, throw our flag, and kill the clock, pretty much all simultaneously. We look, did the clock stop, and is there another flag? If there's not another flag, it's safe to give a preliminary signal if it's a false start or something, only if you have the only flag. If you have a flag and the umpire has a flag, you don't need to give a preliminary signal. You need to go talk and then give your referee whatever happened. So the only time you can give a preliminary signal is if you have the only flag. If the play doesn't require that the clock stop, let the play continue, and then give everybody a funny whistle, you know, a funny tweet, so make sure everybody knows, hey, I've got something over here. Everybody look, because I've got a flag, I've got action happening, and I need some more help. So give a funny whistle to make sure your referee knows that if you're the L, make sure that the H holds the chains, make sure all that stuff happens. And as soon as you can do that, the better, because sometimes if you don't, you'll have a flag and they'll already start moving the chains, and then we have to reset, and that doesn't look good. So as soon as you have a flag, blow that whistle, make that funny whistle at the end of the play if it doesn't kill the clock. Take a deep breath and slow down. A lot of times, you know, everybody's looking at you, so you want to hurry up. Take a deep breath and slow down and communicate clearly to your referee. And if you have the flag, give a good preliminary strong signal. Your referees, they may want stuff different, but most time they want when, what, who, and the result of the play. Talk with your referee and crew chiefs to see what they may want different. If you've got multiple fouls, or if there's multiple fouls on the play, stay near him to help with numbers or anything like that to make sure that he doesn't get messed up on. Then everybody on the field should know the clock status. Was it hot? Was it dead? Are we inside a minute? In all of those situations. And the clock. The 10-second runoffs, just be available to go to your coach as soon as possible if that's a situation, and discuss with your coach. Do you want the 10-second runoff? And then if your coach is the offending coach and he has a timeout, does he want to take the timeout to save the 10-second runoff? So whenever it gets inside 2 minutes, I look at my card to make sure to see if my guy has any timeouts left. So if he doesn't have any timeouts left, I can just tell him, hey, coach, you don't have any timeouts. And so if he takes the 10 seconds, it's gone. And so just know that, because they're going to be asking you, because they're not sure of this rule either yet, even though it's been around for 3 or 4 years. Penalty enforcement. This is where you can tell a crew that's worked together a while. The umpire will give a signal, 1, 2, or 3 usually, however you work with your crew, to the head linesman, and then the head linesman will walk with the umpire, whatever the penalty is, 5, 10, or half the distance, spot, whatever it is. The L will hold wherever you're starting from. If it's a spot foul, he'll hold that until the H and the U get there. And then one thing that we do is that whenever, as the L, as soon as I get there, and if I'm lined up with them, I'm kind of giving them this to let them know, we're good. I'm good if you're good. And so work out some kind of communication with your umpire and your line, just because you don't want them to set the ball down and them be off 2 yards. They're on the, you know, they didn't quite make it to the big yard line. They went past it or whatever it is. And so everybody double check those penalty enforcements. And then you can get your chains to come after you've confirmed everything. Be ready to communicate the fouling number of player to the coach if you didn't make that call. Get that information over to him if he asks for it. If he's not asking for it, you don't have to worry with it. But if he asks for it, do what you can to get that information. Communication on the sidelines. This is the last little bit, guys. Be yourself, be professional, but be available. What makes coaches matter in anything is whenever you ignore them over there. Questions deserve answers, statements do not. If they're just talking and barking, you don't have to respond to that. But if they've got a question about why was this or why was that, you can give them an answer. They may not like it, but you can tell them, you know, there wasn't enough restriction, coach, or whatever the situation was. They want to know that they're heard and listened to and not ignored. And if you're not the calling official on something crazy that's happened, say, coach, next dead ball, I'll go get it for you, whatever the situation was. And then whenever you tell the coach you're going to do that, make sure you go do it, because that makes them matter in anything. You said you were going to go do this for me, and you didn't. That's just starting off bad, and then you're going to have a fight the rest of the game. If you tell the coach you're going to do something, try to do it in a manner that's as fast as possible. Don't dictate to the coach, what exactly happened. Don't put the coach down. He's in a tough job. I wouldn't want his job to know that, 15, 16, 17-year-olds is going to determine if I have to put a for sale sign in my yard. So don't put the coach down. Work with him. He's trying to, work with these kids. Help him out as much as you can. You're in control. Don't let it appear to the fans or anybody else that he's controlling you. You're in control. You know that. So just be firm. You don't have to cower down to him. Be firm. Tell him what's going on, and then move on. Back to confident. Be confident in what you're telling them. So to do that, you need to know the rules. You need to make sure that you know the situations so you can tell them confidently what's going on. Choose your words carefully. Getting in more trouble whenever I say too much. So if all of you that's worked on the side, you can always say as little as possible, but get your point across. You don't have to expand on it. Get your words and be punctual with your words. If it's going to be a long discussion and there's already strife between you and you're going to have a discussion where you threw a kid out or something like that, have another official over there next to you. It's just good to have two so they're not trying to say, well, he said this or he said that. If it's going to be a long discussion, have somebody there with you. And that's it. Is there any questions or anything? Did I go over anything too fast that you have any questions on? Yeah. So on Tasso's website, there's a great video. I've watched it on getting spots, kind of what that looks like, and how spots change if they've got them, held up, and then they break free, then where that new spot is and all that. So get on Tasso and look at those spots videos. Yeah, it's just talking to them again during your pregame. Whenever the first snap, I'm on them at that time. Hey, coach, let me work. Now, if they're 30 yards down the field, behind the play, I'm not going to harp on them down there because I'm busy. I've got work doing here. Now, if we've got a play that takes me down there, he has no grace. If I run into him, it's on him. But if he's immediately around me, I work with them and get them off. Sometimes I have to go right over next to them because they don't even realize where they're at sometimes. And so you just have to go work with them, get them off. And if you've got one that just will not get off, make sure you tell the head coach. And then if you have to flag them, or if you run into them, they're flagged anyway. But if you can't work with them and get that taken care of, then after you've talked with the head coach and they still stay right there on you, you can give them a warning. Any other questions? Hey, as a line of scrimmage guy, if you can make sure that your referee never has to come over, it's the best, because most time whenever they come over, it's already gone too far. And usually they're going to make it worse. So if you can control it, right, Wes? Yeah. So you can always feel like you've accomplished it if you were able to control the craziness on the sideline and your referee never has to come over or never has to say, man, why is that coach out there? Take care of your business over here and let your referee take care of what's going on in there, okay? Because like I said, if the referee comes over, he's going to say something that you've said 15 times, but just because he said it, it makes him mad. So you've already got a working relationship with the coach or with the defensive coordinator that's always out there, or whatever the coach is. Anything else? All right. Hey guys, take your test. Watch your video on Tasso. Anything else, Jeremy? Mike? get Mike paid if you hadn't paid your local dues. Hey, and going off of that, if you haven't become a member of CFO, it's worth the $45 to get on there so you can have all the video. I mean, they've got tons of videos on any kind of different thing that you want that for $45 that you can watch over and over and over. And usually they come out weekly with like a test to help you sharpen your skills. And so if you're not a member of CFO and it's on Arbiter that you do that, come talk to Jeremy or myself or one of these older guys that'll help you get on there, because it's very valuable to get that information. Because again, like he said, these are guys that's got a lot of money invested in this and want to do it right and want us to be professional and by being consistent. And so that's what we see whenever we watch these videos on CFO. Yeah, there's two different, Tasso's videos are the recorded ones that they did, and the CFO videos are like the college and NFL guys that they put together for the college guys. So there's two different videos. One of them's strictly high school football, and the other one's got some college, which usually has a little bit better training involved in it. But Tasso's they're trying hard to get some good training for us, and so watch those videos and give them a check on a box that another person's watched it, and learn from it. Don't just watch it, learn from it. Anything else? I've talked with Tasso, and right now the protocols that they have as far as COVID is what's on their website. Nothing's changed, and so if anything changes with any protocols, we'll get an email sent out to you. I know that there's a lot changing outside. And so if Tasso decides to change some protocols, we'll get that out to you guys to make sure that you read and be in the know on the latest protocols. Anything else? All right, guys, that's it. Thank you.